You know, a lot of people are saying Skarsgård should play the Joker. They're going to do like a new Joker for Reeves' Batman. And yeah, I'm sure he could knock it out. But why not have him for the remake of Killer Clowns from Outer Space? What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of It Chapter 2. It Chapter 2, of course, stars Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Bill Hader, Jay Ryan, Isaiah Mustafa. Totally forgot that he was the deodorant guy. I can't remember which one. Totally eluding me right now. James Ranson, Jay Ryan. I mean, there's Bill Skarsgård, of course. And it's directed by, it's a Flash's new director, Andy, I think, Muschietti. Probably saying that wrong. And the Losers Club, 25 years later, they're all adults. They have all moved away from Derry, of course, except for Mike. He has stayed because he just felt like he needed to. He needed to stay because, well, what if it comes back? And sure enough, it does. Pennywise the Clown, of course. And he calls up everyone and says, hey, you got to come back here because we got to kill this thing. So they all come back after kind of just like the memories of it all faded away. They all had their own lives, but they're like, they knew they had to come back. So, but once they did come back, everything started coming back. Like the way, everything and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, they have to defeat Pennywise the Clown, as well as, hey, make sure he doesn't kill any more kids. So that's pretty much it right there. You already know the story. So what did I think of It Chapter 2? Good stuff. Good stuff. I enjoyed this movie. Enjoyed it a lot. Not as much as the first. And after taking a day of thinking about it, I realized the stuff I didn't enjoy. But, of course, the majority of it I enjoyed big time. The cast. That's the big selling point about this movie. I mean, I've never seen such a more perfect casting of child to adult, ever. And they did it, 7 times with 7 actors? I mean, it's perfect casting. You think they do a Boyhood thing and they just waited 27 years to film the sequel and it's the same fucking actors. And they all shine. I mean, some more than others, of course. Bill Hader, everybody's talking about how he's a scene stealer. It is very true. He is very funny. I sometimes think, Richie gets a little too jokey. Sometimes, when serious shit's happening, you're trying to defeat a monster. I mean, I guess that's his coping mechanism, but yeah, it gets a little jokey, but it didn't bother me. The chemistry between him and, of course, Eddie, the older Eddie, I mean, it's the same as it was when they were with the child actors. Pretty much exactly the same. They play off each other very well. It all works. And then, of course, you have Jessica Chastain. I wish with the Beverly character, they delved more deeply into her characterization because, I mean, you get a sense of, that whole psychological thing that, a lot of therapists will say that, if you had an abusive father, odds are you're going to have abusive men in your life. You get a sense of that, but it's only just a small part. And I kind of wish they really, I guess with all of them, they needed to delve a little more deeply. I mean, I think the one that they really delved the most deeply with was probably Richie and Bill. Bill the most, and of course James McAvoy. Fucking James McAvoy, man. Guy's great! Fantastic. I mean, he's so good. He's always so good. And the fact that when Bill gets back to Derry, his stutter comes back, and he has to do these scenes with that stutter, and, he just pulls it off perfectly because it's James fucking McAvoy. Bill Skarsgård! My God. I love the fact that when you see him in interviews, he's a sweetheart, and even the cast go, man, the cast and crew of the movie, they're just like, man, I mean, he's such a sweetheart, but soon as it goes action and he gets in that character, he's fucking frightening. He just changes into this thing, this clown, this demon fucking thing, and you see it, it's just, oh my God. I mean, there's times where you're just like, the usage of CGI effects were actually pretty good. I was fearing that, with a bigger budget, they were going to go a little too overboard with some of the stuff, but actually it was totally fine. I mean, it gets pretty heavy CGI, not heavy, but, with Pennywise, and stuff that you guys kind of know. It's just, you get a lot of CGI stuff that they utilize in the final act, especially. And you know what? It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It didn't bother me. I didn't go oh God, it looks fake. Perfectly okay. And like I said, that final act is nuts. That final act is pretty crazy, and like I said, there's everything that's so good about this movie. The chemistry between the cast, it all works. When they first meet up at the restaurant, it's just it all works. They just did it so perfectly, from the child actors to the adult actors. Now for the gripes. The first half hour, I remember I told somebody, I'm like, yeah, it felt like a drag. But I'm like, no, it didn't drag. It felt rushed. Like, as soon as the opening scene happens, which is just something happens that involves Pennywise, then it kind of just like, okay, Mike catches wind of it, time to call everybody. And it's just like, bam, there's Beverly. Bam, there's Bill. Bam, there's everybody. You know, it's just calling everybody, just boom, boom, boom. Let's get back to Derry. And then it's just like there. And then all of a sudden it was just kind of... I mean, the movie is like almost 3 hours long. You don't feel it. I didn't feel most of it. I think towards when they get into Derry, that's when you kind of start feeling it. But then when they have to go off and do their things, where they end up interacting with Pennywise again, you kind of go, okay. But then there was like a couple, like one in particular, I'm not going to say who. I was like, well, he didn't really have what the other, there's a flashback, but it seemed unnecessary. There's some times where the flashbacks just kind of come out of nowhere. They seem unnecessary. There was a couple times where I thought it was unnecessary, and it just was a little weird. But like I said, it didn't take away from the movie or anything. There's still thrills and chills and all kinds of stuff. But there was something that was bothering me. When I was driving home, I was like, why is this? It's just, there's something that it just doesn't feel like the first one. And I mean, I got a sense that that was going to be the case, but there was just something that was irking me. And I went, oh. When you watch the miniseries, and that's talking about seeing the whole story from start to finish, when they're children to adults. When you watch that series, you can't tell me that the second half is better than the first half. Because it ain't. I think I've even watched the first half and changed the channel. Like it was on Sci-Fi Channel or something. I just changed the channel when they turn into adults. It's like I remember the first half more than I remember the second half. Because I think it's just, you feel for it more. And I was like, why is that? Because it's kids! When Pennywise is terrorizing kids, it's scarier. When he's terrorizing adults, not as scary. He's a clown who feeds on children. That's scary. And you're having these kids try to tackle him, like go into that creepy ass house and stuff. That's fucking scary. But when they're adults, it doesn't have that leverage anymore. It's still good, still freaky stuff, but that's what was irking me. I was like, why? There it is. But I'm still, you know what, guys, I'm still going to put it on the favorite wall of 2019 because I still enjoyed the shit out of it. So get up there. I think mainly everybody's going to say that. They didn't enjoy it as much as the first, and I think the reason why is because of that little aspect of it. So there you go, guys. That's my whole take on it. Let me know your thoughts about it down below. If you saw it, Chapter 2, let me know what you thought about it. Hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel at thefilmjunkie.com for my content. Follow me on the Sock Meds over there, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon if you want to help out. And of course, share it down below. Guys, all right. Talk to you later.